Hey everyone, it's Jason, and these are 10 things that you shouldn't do in your cruise cabin, and you want to be aware of number 7, because if you don't, you could be in for a rude awakening. So number 1, smoking in your cabin or your balcony. You may not realize this, but when you had to sign off on your terms and conditions of your cruise contract, and everyone has to do so, some of the conditions do say, if you're caught smoking in your cabin or your balcony, you will be fined. And you could potentially be kicked off the ship. We've seen it twice last year on 2 Royal Caribbean ships because people refused to stop smoking when they were caught on their balconies. Also understand this, fires are a huge concern for cruise lines. The crew trains extensively on firefighting. Well, all you have to do is look at the 2006 Star Princess fire. It killed 1 person, 11 other people were injured. Now I'll tell you this, when I went through my captain's class and the master's portion of it, 75% of it was how to prevent fires on ships and boats. It is a major cause of concern. So all I have to say is please follow those rules. Understand you could cost not only your life, but someone else's life because you're smoking. And the other thing is, do not ever throw a cigarette butt off your balcony or if you're in a smoking area. That can get blown back into the ship and cause a fire. Just don't do it. So number 2, taking the provided robes or beach towels from your cabin at the end of your cruise. Understand they do an inventory, the stateroom attendant. They'll do an inventory. If it's missing, they're going to charge you. And those robes, they want to charge up to $100 for them. And I can assure you, they're not $100 robes. And the beach towels are anywhere from $25 to $40 a piece. Totally not worth it. So make sure you don't accidentally take a beach towel or a robe at the end of your cruise. So number 3, anything with an open flame, such as candles or incense. That just goes back to what I mentioned before, that a fire is a crew member's worst nightmare. Also, I'm going to include in this anything with a heating element, such as coffee makers, an iron, or steamer. So those last 3, the cruise lines and the port authorities have gotten really good in the last year to 2 years about catching them. I've heard multiple people that said, hey, they used to bring a steamer, but they got caught like 2 times in a row, so they don't bring them anymore. And when you get off the ship, you see tables sometimes full of irons and steamers, so just leave those things at home. So number 4, and I'm sure I'm going to get some comments on this one because of the way I react to it, is don't leave your cabin a mess like what's in this picture. Now this was posted by John Heald, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Lines. And stop before you go, oh, that's just a Carnival thing, because you know it's not. I've been on 6 different brands, over 30 different cruise ships, and I can assure you I've seen it on every single cruise. Beer bottles all over, food all over. It's disgusting. Have some self-respect. Respect your cabin attendant. I'm not saying you got to make your bed and make sure your cabin's perfect, but just have some self-respect and don't do that to your cabin attendant. It just makes their work so much harder, and have some empathy for them. So number 5, sitting on your balcony railing or jumping off your balcony. So this picture right here was taken at Coco Cay. It was taken from the Oasis of the Seas, and it was taken on a ship that we believe it was a Radiance class ship. These are 2 young boys sitting on a balcony railing. If you have kids and you're going on your first cruise or any cruise and you have a balcony, make sure to have a conversation with them. They can't do things like that. If they're bored, they need to do things to have fun, find them other things to do, but please reiterate to them not to do this. Then you have the young man that decided to jump off the 10th floor of the Symphony of the Seas at Nassau, Bahamas. He was later interviewed and said his whole party was kicked off the ship, they've all been banned, and he just said it was a stupid thing to do. If you want to go and have fun, join the belly flop contest. Don't jump off your balcony. So number 6, and your neighbors will thank you for this, not flushing anything other than toilet paper and obviously anything that comes out of your body down the toilet. You don't want to be that person that clogs a certain section of cabins and they're all overflowing with sewer water. Trust me, toilet paper only. So before I get to number 7, I would ask that you please like this video, as it does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing, as I do daily cruise news shorts and tips and tricks. I also do longer cruise videos on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. So number 7, and this is the one I want to warn you about, especially because it can happen to anyone. It's happened to us. And if you're newer to cruising, or you've never had a balcony cabin, just don't leave your balcony door open. Now, I'm not talking about that you could lose air conditioning. I'm talking about if you go to open your front door, you're going to have what I call a wind tunnel effect, or a vortex. It's going to throw things all over, loose paper all over, and you're going to get strong wind blowing through there. I know someone that tried to catch their door and the door slammed on their hand and they broke their fingers. So just make sure if you're going to answer your front door and you want your balcony door open, close your balcony door first, then open your door. So number 8, use your signs. And it doesn't matter whether it's a door hanger, a magnet, or in some of the newer ships they're electronic, letting your cabin attendant know, do not disturb. We always do this. And then vice versa, when you leave and you want your cabin made up, just make sure to put it out there that you are not in your cabin. It really does help them out, and it's something that's really nice because when you put it on there, many times they see it and they just go and take care of your cabin right away. So number 9, and I'm going to caution you here, if you don't want to have extra charges, don't eat or drink anything out of the mini fridge. Most people don't realize it, even with the premium beverage packages, that doesn't include the mini fridge. So when we get to our cruise and we get to our cabin, we ask our cabin attendant to just take away those items so we're not tempted at all. I know of someone that they allowed their kid to eat and drink out of the mini fridge all week, and they had over a $200 bill on that. I think it's just easier to ask that cabin attendant to take it away so there's no temptation. So number 10, and I can't believe I have to tell people this, but you can't take your bed outside on your balcony. I've seen where people have taken their box spring, their mattresses, and all their blankets and sheets out on their balcony. I've actually seen someone smoking in their bed on their balcony. You just can't do that. So a bonus tip, because no list is complete without it, and I put this right up there with chair hogs, is door slammers. I don't think most people understand that cabins are thin and narrow. They're made out of metal. And when you allow that door to slam shut, it's like an earthquake just happened in your neighboring cabin. If you could do us all a favor and not slam your doors, I think all of us would appreciate that. So what do you guys think of my list? Can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching. And until I talk to you next week, happy cruising.